This is the unexpected link between an American cult and an Indian tech giant. I'm curious if this is just a conspiracy. Let's check it out.
Inside this fancy leather box is actually, wait, I should probably wear gloves for this because this is really old and really expensive and I just don't want to take any chances. Okay, here we go. Inside this box is a cutlery set that I have had shipped all the way from America. And look, I know what you're thinking. Cool flex, bro, but why should I give a damn about your spoons?
Exactly. Why? What? I've always found that interesting. Yeah, the oh, I'm bringing it from America, so it must be better when a lot of it's made in India. Yeah.
Well, what if I told you that these aren't just any spoons? What if I told you that this cutlery set was made by an American company that started over 150 years ago as a sex cult that was trying to achieve immortality through sex? Oh, and they also gave birth to one of India's most iconic electronics companies in the 1990s. Are you interested in my spoons now? Today, I'm going to tell you the story of...
What? Oh, okay. Oh, that's a weird how we got to now kind of scenario. Really weird.
Two legendary companies, one American and one Indian. One that rose to fame in the 19th century and one in the 20th. Two companies separated by time and space, but connected by a weird coincidence, a cutlery set just like this one, and of course, the devil himself. I am Tirthak Saha and you are watching Under the Radar.
Okay.
This is a series that was made possible by the 01 network by Zerodha.
Ad placement. What's in a name?
In time a little bit. In 1982, India witnessed a historic event. The nation hosted the 9th Asian Games after a gap of 31 years. And this was a huge deal because the games are kind of like a mini Olympics for Asian countries. The country that gets to host it gets a lot of soft political power and a boost to the economy. So, you know, pretty big deal. In the years leading up to this sporting mega event, to prepare for it, India made one huge decision. Doordarshan, India's national broadcaster, announced that
This is the unexpected link between an American cult and an Indian tech giant. Again, it sounds way too far-fetched to be true that I'm like, conspiracy?
it would telecast the games in color, a first for the nation. To facilitate this, the government opened up the economy and allowed the import of color TV sets. A decision that would not only impact Indian history, but also the lives of two friends who saw this as an opportunity to start an Indian brand that could compete with the foreign electronics giants that would soon be rolling into India. G.L. Meerchandani and his friend quit their jobs to start this company, and thus begins our epic story. Okay, now picture this. Meerchandani is sitting in his living room trying to find a name for this new electronics company. He wants something that sounds foreign enough to be able to compete with giants like Sony that were prevalent at the time, but he also wants it to be desi enough so that, you know, people can remember it easily. Enter his wife. You see, she had recently been browsing some catalogs of silverware and she had come across this old American company whose name she really liked the sound of. Onida. Onida sounded sleek, exotic, kind of Japanese, but also simple enough for an Indian.
Almost Hispanic, Juanita. It's a girl's name. Of course, it's spelled completely different, but Juanita.
Person to pronounce and remember exactly what Meerchandani had been looking for. They had just...
Oh, in the 1990s, only 2 TVs for 300 people. That's what's funny is like in the 1990s, my father was an electrician. So we had like 15 TVs in the house. We had those massive picture tube giant screen TVs. And what's funny is for me, that was commonplace. Having a TV in the living room, having one in like a study, having one in just, of course, the bedrooms weren't allowed to have TVs. But I grew up feeling like that was a normal thing. And then you go visit people and they just have like one TV. Or people would come to our house and be amazed how we have such a giant TV because we weren't privileged like most people. But my dad just repaired them and have them in the rooms, and we'd watch stuff on it as he's testing the TVs. Because back in the day, you needed to make sure the colors synced up. You needed to make sure all this stuff, especially on those old big screen TVs. They were basically a projector or 3 projectors. It was the RGB lights that projected the image, and they would have the intensity. It was always fascinating to see.
Found the perfect name for their new company. But for legal purposes, they made a slight tweak. They dropped the E, and boom, the iconic Onida was born.
Onida.
Okay, before I say anything else, I need you to understand something. Onida wasn't just another Indian company. No, 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 no. Back then, at the peak of its popularity in the 90s, it became an absolute powerhouse. It was destroying its competition left and right, even outperforming giants like Sony and Sharp in TV sales across the country. How? How did this newly born company manage to grab an entire nation by its collar and force it to pay attention? The answer is two-part. The first stroke of genius was the name. By sounding a little Japanese, it had led an entire nation into believing that it was some kind of a foreign.
Yeah, I've never understood that. I've never understood how foreign brands mean better. Like foreign name brands, foreign devices. If it works, it works. I don't care where it's from as long as it works. Because the funny thing is when you start tracking things to where all the, like most computer chips, like most smart chips, all come basically from Taiwan. That's where most of them are basically manufactured and sent out around the world for them to put it in their devices. It's funny how people have this, and I know a lot of people have a fixation on like having the nicest watch, wearing the nicest clothes, having a name brand something just makes them more excited. But for me, it was just like, I just want a t-shirt. I just want to wear a t-shirt. That's all I care about. That's all I care about. Give me a t-shirt, pair of pants. As long as I'm comfortable, I'm happy. As long as I got my hat, which I started wearing about like 15 years ago, I'm happy. I'm happy. But yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, I've always been simple, but a lot of people like the name brand stuff, and they like the foreign stuff. So people buy the foreign cars here in the US when there is no way of repairing them, or you have to take them to a specialty shop when you can just buy something simple, get it repaired far cheaper. Hello, bro. I'm joining your live stream first time, but I watch your every reaction. Thank you. Thank you. I have a ton I need to upload. What? You can take them outside.
Anyway, Meet Chandani never bothered to correct them, and in a much later interview, he basically admitted to this. But what was done, and an entire nation started believing that Onida was some kind of a Japanese high-tech brand. And honestly, I can't blame them. It was the 90s. Japanese equaled cutting-edge tech. Actually, kind of still does.
Foreign brands were called better because of brainwashing during the colonial era. Native products were discouraged and imported. Oh yeah. Well, most of the stuff, like I know Britain taxed India on their own products like ridiculously, which makes no sense. But that's how they turned a profit and milked India for all it's worth. And I guess for the longest time after the independence, it kind of just remained that mindset in India, where it's just like, I'd rather have something from France or this clothing brand from wherever, when it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
In fact, when I was preparing for this video, I actually asked a lot of my friends and family, and none of them knew that it was actually an Indian brand owned by an Indian. It worked. Now, the second stroke of genius was a single emotion, a negative one that had never before been seen in Indian marketing. While other brands were selling mushy, dreamy happiness, Onida decided to sell envy. See, they had figured out that back in the 90s,
You need me to take them out? Okay. Sorry. We have a new member to the family, and the siblings don't seem to be getting along. We got a new member to the family, and the two siblings are struggling to get along. Well, one of them's excited to meet the other, and the other one's afraid to meet the older one.
owning a flashy, high-end piece of luxury technology like a TV was the ultimate neighborhood flex. People wanted to one-up their neighbors and show off, so why not leave?
There's no fight. So my dog is eager to meet the cat my wife just enthusiastically got, and the cat's afraid. My dog is good with cats, really good with cats, but the cat needs to get good with the dog. So it'll take some time. It'll take some time.
Into that. Why not
Yeah,
make
the cat
that
doesn't know.
possible? Why not give people an affordable TV that looked and sounded high-tech and foreign? And then came the visual representation of that envy that grabbed everyone's attention. The devil himself. The horns, the smirk, the sexy suit, and the boldest tagline Indian advertisement had ever heard till then. Neighbors envy, owners pride. Look, you have to understand, we Indians had never been marketed to like this before. We just could not look away. It was hypnotic. And just like that, Onida's market share exploded from 5% in 1981 to almost 20% by 1995. All thanks to the devil whispering envy into our living rooms.
Colt.
Okay, everyone still here? Having fun? Okay, great. Because now this roller coaster of a story is about to get even wilder. Strap in. Remember the other Onida I was telling you about? The one that Meet Chandani borrowed the name from? The one that started as an American sex cult? Yeah, we need to talk about that. Let's go a little further back in time. It's the year 1848. Just outside New York, a man named...
What's your children color though? Just curious. I have a white, well, mutt basically. A big guy. He's normally at the end of my videos. He was little at the beginning. And now a black cat, solid black cat.
John Humphrey Noyes starts
some
a
gray on
community
his chest,
where they all come together and start living in a neighborhood. Sounds wholesome, right?
It's playing. The cat's playing. Now that the dog's out, the cat's playing. Oh my gosh. That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
A bunch of cute old-timey American people coming together, forming a neighborhood, having baking contests and singing songs. Wrong. This community was different. And by different, I mean...
There have been so many communities like that. So many communities like that. I mean, heck, my favorite childhood show growing up was Smallville, and a few of the members, the women in that show, were a part of a cult like this, which promised confidence and things like that. Well, it was something different.
What if we all came together, married each other, and started having sex with each other, and through this weird community sex, somehow became immortal? Kind of different. Wow. Welcome to the Onida community. Okay, all jokes aside, what they actually believed in was this concept called a complex marriage, where everyone in the community is married to everyone else. They believed that monogamy was selfish. Since marriages did not exist in heaven, they need not exist here on earth in their utopia. The irony, of course, was that while the founder Noyes was building a community on these beliefs, he himself was already legally married. And here's the crazy part. They thought that by giving up traditional marriages and relationships and embracing what they called collective love, they would spiritually evolve. And through this evolution, they would become immortal beings.
The hippie movement, basically. They were just hippies before the hippies. Oh my gosh. You want to put him in frame? Yeah, we can put him. Oh, he's sleeping on your pillow. Yeah, need to put him in frame.
Don't ask me how that connects and how that works. I could not find any notes on this. This is so weird. If any of you know, please feel free to educate us all.
You could just
in the
carry
comments.
him over here.
But here's the catch. Free love
Right
doesn't
here.
actually pay the bills. So to finance its up.
Right here, come closer, closer, closer. And show him off. There we go. There's the new member of the family. Very adorable, huh? Very adorable. All right, you get to go back home. Or go back to sleep.
Operations, the cult had to get practical. A sentence
The
I
older
never
brother was
thought
kicked
I'd have
out.
to say. And they quickly realized that something that a lot of them within the community were really good at making that they could sell was beautiful, handcrafted silverware. But just
I don't think anyone gets it. It's just people who want to have free love and be able to sleep with whoever they want. It's just what the Western culture has completely turned into. Completely turned into. It's I don't understand it, but when you lose sight of morals, when you lose sight of like respect, when you lose sight, you embrace that kind of dynamic. And a lot of people want the freedom to do anything else. They don't want to be shamed by people. And that's the problem, is like the US culture has been gotten away from shaming, that now we have people doing this kind of stuff and hurting people as well, because, oh, I thought we were in an open relationship, when it was never outright discussed. Because there are plenty of people who are brain rotted and will willingly cheat on their partner. So just find someone that's willing to do that. But you have to find someone that fits your mold. Have to find someone that fits your mold. Okay.
Just as this whole endeavor was really taking off, trouble started brewing inside the community. The founder,
they all say
Noyes,
hi.
got into legal trouble over
say
his
hi.
unique ideas and fled to Canada. His own son wasn't too keen on this whole culty vibe and didn't want to take over the reins, and so no real leader could be re-established. But here's where things get interesting. Instead of collapsing like every other failed utopia, instead of disappearing into shame and scandal, the remaining Onidians decided to do something bold. They rebranded. And the tool that they used to do so is something that I think connects them to the Indian Onida that would come
They
years down
removed
line,
the I?
even more than just a simple
The E.
coincidence and a borrowed name. Marketing. Very, very few companies in history have understood marketing the way these two have. And even though they were born a century apart, their use of marketing is so weirdly similar because of one simple reason. They were both trying to solve the same problem, an identity crisis.
It's like you are doing something bad, but make it spiritual nowadays. It's cool. Yeah. It's the whole, and I don't blame India for this. It's just the stupidity of the Western culture, where they're like, oh, it's the spiritualness. The yoga gets me at one with the world. And then it turns into this free love nonsense and all that. It's just like, but now they have a reason for it. It's just who they are. They're embracing their real self. It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Let me explain. Instead of a young Indian startup with no market experience, Mir Chandani needed the Indian middle class to believe that his Onida was some kind of an all-powerful being that could sell them a bougie lifestyle at half the cost. And similarly, the American Onida, to survive, had to quickly wipe away all the association with the whole cult thing and create a new image, an image of high-end luxury at affordable prices. Onida wanted to be known for bougie on a budget, not sex cult cutlery. And to do that, both these companies pioneered marketing techniques that are still used today.
Well, yeah.
Mir Chandani's Onida sent a well-dressed, well-spoken, sexy devil to hold up a
Yeah, there are very few marketing techniques that work. I mean, that's the technique Apple uses. It uses this technique to try and make everyone feel like, oh, you have to. What is it called? The FOMO nonsense. Yeah, that's what it is. They use that marketing technique, the exclusivity, the fact that you're in the elite. It's a stupid tactic. It eventually it burns itself out, like the way Apple kind of has, because Apple's now being forced to capitulate to every other thing. Because they were so exclusive, they had to change to like a Type-C plug. They had to change, because, yeah, I mean, it just makes it more available to everyone else when you can use multiple different things. Yeah, fear of missing out.
mirror to the raw envy and ambition hidden inside the Indian middle class. Hey, if you get this TV, you'll be better than your neighbor. Don't you want that? And on the other hand, the American Onida became one of the first companies to start using celebrity campaigns, using well-dressed, well-spoken, sexy celebrities to tap into the envy and ambition of their fans. Look, forget about who we were in the past. Look at this shiny spoon. Your favorite celebrity uses it. Don't you want to be just like them? You see, both Onida and Onida used iconic, eye-catching.
I might have some of my things break back here. That's just that might be what happens. But yeah, I mean, the dog's barking too. But it's funny that they started creating silverware, high-end silverware. You go from a sex cult to basically creating high-end silverware. That's crazy.
Mascots to draw attention away from their real identities. One by embracing the devil, the other by hiding it. You know, these two companies,
Greatest
they're
chick that
in
ever
separate
pulled.
industries, right? Halfway across the world, in different continents. They're even born a century apart. They have no business whatsoever having any sort of link. And yet, The more I looked into this story, the more similarities I found in the journey of these two iconic companies. And I couldn't help but think. You know that thing that happened in the Mirchandani's living room all those years ago in 1976? Was that really just a simple random coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe it was some kind of a big cosmic joke hidden away in the pages of human history, just waiting to be discovered. After all, the devil works in mysterious ways.
Oh. Okay, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting seeing the correlation. That again, they really have nothing in common except the wife saw the name and was like, "Oh, this sounds nice." And then they look into the history of like the spoon company. It's like, "Oh, they have a dark history or a free loving history." That's how they can have money to survive. Yeah. I did find that interesting. I did find that interesting.
You guys got a video? So bad.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait, where's Onida?